chapter.
Good evening, Blues. How are we all doing? Welcome back to Typical City. Another watch along on the cards. Champions League football. A potentially relaxing one. Potentially. But you do not underestimate the importance of the Champions League. The magic of the competition. The magic that can be found in nights like this, you just never know. But with a 3-1 lead already, no away goals playing a part means that, they can come here and get a 2-goal lead. Is that going to happen? Is that realistic? Are we really thinking that Copenhagen can come away with a 2-0 result? And that would only take it to penalties as well. I can't see it personally. Terrible travellers, Copenhagen. They really do struggle. They haven't won away from home in this competition since 2016. So that's quite some time ago, and they have never won away from home in this competition in the UK. So the omens are very much against Copenhagen. I do think we're good. I like the team as well. I'm really pleased with the team. It's strong with a nice blend of forced changes, but a few little, the Nunez's and Kovacic and Rico Lewis coming in as well. I think that's great. I think that's great to see these players in. What they're going to do with what particular roles they're going to play as well, that's going to be interesting to see how they play. But yeah, Copenhagen, I think they're coming here just to take part, really. With all due respect to them. Even listening to their manager, Jakob Niestrup, he was talking very much defeated talk already. Like, they're already beaten. They sound already beaten. The way he talks, just about very complimentary of City. I'm not complaining. It's just seemed a bit hopeful, wishful thinking on his part that they would even come away with anything from this game, let alone the tie. And that's the thing that City want to do here. Full well Manchester City are going to be the most professional we can possibly be. Hopefully we can get this done before half-time with one eye, almost definitely one eye, a big old gaping eye staring at Anfield for the weekend. Full well Pep, he won't admit that. Never would he admit that. One game at a time, he always says. But he's a little bit thinking about it, surely. You can't not. It is Liverpool. We've even seen the documentaries when he's gone against the one game at a time policy, where he was so focused and tearing his hair out. He's probably already done plenty of that with the hauntings of our visits of Anfield. He hasn't got any hair, so that can't be done. But they destroy him, and they make him so worried, and the anxiety that we saw in that Amazon documentary a few years ago when he was talking about the idea of how's he going to stop Salah and all the other threats that Liverpool had at that time as well. They've got different types of threats this time, but they go away to Sparta Prague tomorrow night. So that's going to be a really interesting test for their squad. I doubt they're going to play Mo Salah. He is back. But the fact that they're playing tomorrow night, don't forget, they're going away from home to the Czech Republic to play Sparta Prague. While they're playing that football match, we're going to be sat with our feet up. The players will be resting, relaxing, recuperating, getting ready for Anfield. So that's a massive, massive advantage. And that's to the detriment of Liverpool not playing Champions League football. You reap what you sow. You're playing Europa League football, and you dare to call that a quadruple or some sort of treble. We weren't allowed to call it a treble. Do you know what I mean? When we won a quadruple, a domestic quadruple, it's not the treble. It's not the treble. Right, well, what is the treble? Well, we've done that now. Anything else? Anything else we need to do? We're checking off all these tick boxes that you keep presenting us. We're beating everything you put in front of us. Whereas now we can reverse that now, and Liverpool are now going to win the quadruple, apparently, even though that European trophy is going to be a Europa League. Okay, so let's see how they focus on that, because I'm really, really curious to see how Liverpool will come back, what players they'll play in that game. Will they go full strength? Because it's the first tie as well. It's the first leg. Do you know what I mean? So they can't, it's not like the tie's done. They need to go there, win, so they can then rest players in the second leg, because they should be battering Sparta Prague 4 or 5-0, really. They should be, Liverpool. But that means they've got to go for it. They've got to put all the energy. They've got to expend a lot of energy into that game, which 3 days later, you've got to save some energy for the Manchester City rocking up to Anfield. So how they play, that's going to be really, really interesting, and that's the biggest factor that's in our favour. going into this. You accompany that with a few injuries in Liverpool's squad. And as you can see, I've spent more time talking about the bloody Liverpool game than I have with Copenhagen. So you can tell where my mind's at right now. I imagine if you're a logical City fan, your mind's probably wondering more about the Sunday game than tonight's game. It's going to be exciting today to see what City can produce. It is Champions League football. It always conjures up something that's a little bit unexpected at times. Whether it's going to be like a 4 or 5 another smashing from Haaland. Could we see him finding the net frequently, preferably before half-time, ideally, so we can pull him off at half-time, get there's a few other players that I wouldn't mind seeing. Diaz, we need to see him come off. Other than that, I think the team there's enough rotation there to be comfortable tonight and be fresh for Sunday. So we've found that nice balance, but it is good to see you all in the chat. Bear with me 1 second. Let me have a look at who's here. We had Mahmood, nice and early, mate. Good to see you. And Church of the Poison Mind. I can't see your thing anymore for some reason, but I remembered you were in there, mate. So good to see you as well. Jesse as well. Are you going for Real Madrid? That's the vote. What's that saying as well? What did I say? Who would you most want to avoid in the next round, assuming they progress? I remember what Church of the Poison Mind said. Now I've read that back to myself, and he doesn't worry about anybody. So fair play to you, mate. And I'm sure City players will feel the same way. But the majority of the votes are going towards Real Madrid, understandably so, because the other options were Arsenal and Inter Milan. I haven't seen, someone's put other as well, but no names in the comments. But it'd be interesting to see who people vote for. But it is Real Madrid, really, isn't it? They're the ones to really worry about. Just the know-how, isn't it? The know-how. But Alan, good to see you. I saw you saying earlier that you're watching it from work. What you doing, mate? What you doing? I hope your boss doesn't catch you, mate. And I hope I don't get you in trouble. What do you do for a living, mate? But good to see you in the chat. Ian, Ryan, good to see you two as well. Cooper, Devious, got James. Hope you're well, James. Hope you've recovered from your hospital visit, mate. Hope all is well with you. Bam Bam, Kevin, good to see you, Kevin. Tony, Big M, come on, City. Scott, Ziola, hi, mate, you all right? Good to see you as well. And Topaz, good to see you, mate. Timmy, Nix, Franz, Junior Morrison, yours truly, Highness Zora. What a fantastic name you've got. Oscar Bob will have 2 G and A's gone for in this, mate. I think Oscar Bob was written on the cards to play this game. Looking forward to seeing what he can do. Really excited to see Oscar Bob's performance today. Where he plays is going to be interesting. I imagine on the right, that's what I've gone for. I'll give you the team news in a minute. Sub 2 as well. Good to see you, Sub 2, mate. I haven't seen you in a while, mate. Hope you're doing good. Adam Lee, Abdel, Kader, hi from London, hi from Manchester, mate. I was down in London yesterday, mate. Hope you're well. Klaas, Samuel, and Grillman, Adney, and Ghetto, Gent, who is over it. And I think that's caught up with everybody. I try to speak to as many people as I can because I know not everyone jumps in from the get-go, but players are out in the tunnel. So, team news. Edison in net. I think a lot of people were predicting a potential rotation for this game. I think Pep's paid a lot of respect to Copenhagen, but like I said, he's blended in that nice mix of rotation, but still, you know, you've got your big hitters in there. You've got your Haalands in there for a start, Ruben Diaz, Rodri, Edison. You know, the spine of our team is still as strong as ever. Akanji, Diaz and Gvardiol, welcome back. Josko, he's vital for the rest of our season. We need him because we can't keep depending on Nathan Ake with his fitness levels sometimes being brought into question. It's so good. It's so important to see Gvardiol back. I do think there's a lot of improvement needed from Gvardiol, and I think we've seen just before that injury as well, I felt like he was just about, he was getting going a little bit. It felt like he was going up a level. You know, when he started, he was just, he was okay here and there, a mistake here and there as well, which was frustrating. But just before he got injured, there was 3 or 4 games in a row where he was like pretty solid, very composed, no mistakes, all simple football, and effective going forward as well. I'm imagining Rico Lewis is playing in the middle alongside Rodri. That's what I've gone for. I've seen so many different variations of the starting 11 as well, but I've gone for Rico Lewis and Rodri in the middle, in front of that back 3, and in front of those 2, Alvarez and Kovacic. It could be Lewis and Kovacic sitting and Lewis pushing forward. We'll have to wait and see, because I don't really have an objection with either, because both Kovacic and Lewis can do either role in this side, I feel. So I wouldn't have objections to Kovacic sitting and Lewis going forward, or Lewis sitting and Kovacic going forward. But I've gone for Lewis sitting because that gives us the option to drop into a back 4 when we don't have the ball. And there, Lewis can drop into right back with Akanji and Diaz shifting across to become two centre-backs, which I'm okay with that. I've gone with Oscar Bob on the right. Nunes is now becoming a pretty frequent left winger. He must be playing left wing. I've seen, I think it was the channel I'm watching, BT Sport, that's suggesting that Alvarez is on the left. It's like, it's crazy. Surely not. Surely not. And of course, Erling Haaland up top. Quickly, because the teams are walking out onto the pitch right now. The Copenhagen team, they've made quite a few changes compared to their last starting 11 against Manchester City. It looks like they've completely changed quite a few individuals, as well as changing the formation. It looks like a flat back five with Ankersen and Deeks both playing. I imagine those two are going to be wing backs with Yellert, Vavro, and the Scotsman McKenna as part of the back three with Ankersen and Deeks as wing backs. Grabara in goal. I don't know whether I've just said that. I think it's the Danish Phil Foden. Froholt, number 47, of course. Phil Foden's number, Froholt. And hopefully there's no dodgy dealings from Ozarkson. And Clem, you hope he's not clamming up. Terrible. Achori, goose and tight. And Elianusi up front as the front two, which I'm predicting to pose very little threats. I'm hoping, because if we can just nullify their midfield or any sort of potential counter-attacks. I think Deeks and Ankersen are going to have a job on today. They've got to get forward and back. If they want to win this game, they've got to come out, but they've come here with a flat back five effectively. So if that's not defeatist mentality, I don't know what is. You need to win this game, and they've come here and named 5 defenders. So I feel like they've come here not to get humiliated rather than coming here to actually do anything. But you never know. You just never know with this Champions League outfit. It's going to be an interesting test, fitness test. You just want to get that game done, don't you? Half-time. Let's get this game won at half-time, then we can... Well, do we? Do we want to bring on the substitutes? Because the substitutes we need for the next game, well, you can bring on Wright, Sissoko, Hamilton, those types of players, but we've got Foden, Bernardo Silva, De Bruyne, John Stones, Nathan Ake, all on the bench. I don't want to see them tonight. I don't want to see them touch that pitch at all. If you want entertainment, I'm sure you do, but from a fitness point of view, I don't want to see them on the pitch, Right, 154 in the building. Good to see you all joining. Nice and early as well. 56 likes. Do you reckon we could pop a like on the stream if you haven't already? It massively, massively helps grow the channel. So thanks for joining me. But Clara, good to see you as well. Renegade, Douglas, I love our academy. It's pretty good, isn't it? It's pretty good, in the words of Larry David. Who likes Larry David, mate? I'm a big, big fan of Curb Your Enthusiasm, mate. What a show that is. Got to stop drinking Hobgoblin. I'm such a boring individual. You know when you were a kid and you told your mum, like, oh, I like that. Your mum would buy, like, a lorry load of it just because you said you liked it once. I've become like that, where if I decide I like something, I buy it non-stop until I get so sick of it that I hate it. And I'm doing that with Hobgoblin. I'm not even enjoying it anymore. I'm just drinking it to death to the point where I don't even enjoy it anymore. My mum used to do that all the time. It's like, oh yeah, I love that jelly or whatever it was. It could be any food whatsoever. And it was like, right, okay, I will buy a truckload of that jelly. And you're going to live off it for months. But, yeah, Hobgoblin. Game is about to get underway. Copenhagen to start us with kickoff. So let's have a look. Who's left? Who's right? Nunes looks... Is that Nunes? Looks like Nunes might be on the right here. Oscar Bob on the left, potentially. But that's literally before the game starts. So let's see how it pans out. And we're off. Game is underway. Come on, City. Come on, City. Your wife makes fun of you all the time. Jeff, don't know what to say, mate. I presume you're talking about the food, buying lots of it. Yeah, just generally just makes fun of you all the time. You're a bully victim. That's what you're telling me. You're secretly letting me know that you're in... No, let's not go there. But hope you're well, Jeff. Good to see you. What's your prediction, mate? Uncle Ghost, what a great name. The future looks so bright. You need some sunglasses, mate. Ryan's ate 3 chicken Kievs. No, you've ate chicken Kievs for 3 months, sorry. That's the thing. People do that. We are habitual animals, aren't we? We do that. We do that, don't we? Cuggan's gone 4-2 City. What are you doing here, mate? Jack Grealish is injured. Hope you're well, mate. Hope you're good. But, yeah, Gvardiol pushing forward. Let's have a look at what the team's set up like. So, straight away, Núñez is not on the left. And Alvarez is on the bloody left. So there's me mocking BT Sports. They must have known something there, because when have we seen Alvarez playing on the left? Right now he's on the left. Oscar Bob's in the middle. Núñez is in the middle. Kovacic is sitting. Sort of sitting. And Rico Lewis is acting as a bit of a right winger. Playing that Kyle Walker role, to be honest. The early season Kyle Walker role. Where he pushed forward, which I don't think is his greatest position, to be honest. I don't see him as a wide player, Rico Lewis. His ability to receive the ball in tight spaces, Rico Lewis is so good at that, for someone so young as well. He's not even 20 yet, is he? It's crazy to think about how young Rico Lewis actually is, and echoing the thoughts of Douglas as well, saying, he loves our academy. You can see why, mate, because we've got Oscar Bob playing, we've got Rico Lewis playing, and we've got Phil Foden sat on the bench. It's good times, isn't it? And it's not just the fact that these players work their way into a starting 11, the money that we make off them as well. If they don't make it into the starting 11, the prices the rest of the world are prepared to pay for our academy players. There's only really one that I feel like we did someone dirty, and that was yet to be seen. But James Trafford, for me, is bordering on flopping at Burnley. He's not doing very well, but he is in a Burnley side. But we got 19 million for James Trafford, which seems quite a large amount of money for someone of that quality. But you never know. He's got a lot of growing to do. Should see Gvardiol's pushed forward there, giving it away. Elianusi now bringing it forward. Overlap with Deeks. Copenhagen knocking it about nicely here, actually. One mistake from Gvardiol and it's caused a few problems here. And they've given it straight back to Erling Haaland, who's looking for a blue shirt to pass it to. He gets it back to Rico Lewis. Is it me? It's not just me. I know it's not me. But Rico Lewis gets unnecessarily targeted. Just then, Elianusi goes flying into Rico Lewis, who had to leap over the legs of the tackle to get away from it. But they target him, don't they? I don't know why. They like proper love bullying Rico Lewis. And I love how a lot of the City players stick up for him as well. They do a good job of that, don't they? But yeah, 3-1. I feel like this is done, really. You know what I mean? I'm trying to not sound too arrogant or complacent, but I've come into this feeling like we are, we should be walking this, to be honest. And if we can get, like, an early goal, that will flatten them. It'll absolutely flatten them. But Ruben Diaz gone long there, looking for Núñez. Núñez gets underneath it. More puts off the defender who tries to head it and heads it straight to Haaland. Haaland offers a ball down that right wing. Ball's been deflected. 1-2 attempt with Rico Lewis, and it's gone out for a corner. Has it? McKenna coming out, and he tried to get him in a bloody headlock. They all love battering Rico Lewis, don't they? I didn't see your answer, James, and I'm presuming the fact that you're in the chat, mate, suggests that you're all well. I know you were in hospital recently, so I hope you're all good, my friend. City 4-0 you've gone for as well. Yeah, something comfortable would be nice. Let's see some goals. Corner ball. Alvarez to take it. Whips it in near post. Akanji! There you go. 1-0. Easy as that. It is 1-0. I'm trying to act as cool as a cucumber. And I'm somewhat achieving that because I did ask for a goal. I asked for an early goal. And Manchester City have absolutely supplied that. It's 1-0 Manchester City. Akanji with a side foot effort. Very reminiscent of that Edin Dzeko goal at Old Trafford, if you remember. That corner whipped in. Who remembers that? Where Dzeko just on the side foot. I think it was a 3-1 win at Old Trafford where he's just a side foot volley. And we were talking about Manuel Akanji here. What a fucking finish, by the way. Manuel Akanji, I mean, what a finish. That is a centre-forward's finish, that was. What a class act of a... That is classy. Absolutely classy from Manuel Akanji. And there you go. As predicted, I kind of had a funny feeling about this game being a bit of a simplistic scenario, and it's panning out that way so far. But you never know. They need to score 3 now to take us to penalties. Are they going to do that? Really? Can't see that. Can't see that. Jeff, I hope you're right, mate. I hope you stick around after half-time if it is done by half-time. Jeff, what an absolute legend. Gifting 5 memberships. Love it, Jeff. Absolutely love it. Jack's grabbed it. Charlie's grabbed it. Dudley, buzzing. Coogan, buzzing. Buzzing. And Wendy's grabbed it as well. Nice. Well played. Well played. Hope you're all good. Hope you're all good. And thanks very much, Jeff. Thank you very much. Hope you're all good and enjoying the membership. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Too kind. Too kind. But, yeah, 1-0 already. Simple as that. Jeff handing out memberships. It's got off to a very good start, this stream, hasn't it? Jeff has got a big part in that as well, of course. Fantastic. Thank you very much. Lindsay, get in City. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Dudley with the W. Top man, Jeff. So kind, mate. So kind. You're going to be broke, mate, supporting typical City if you're not careful, mate. But I'm not complaining. Long ball over the top here. Nunes thought about bringing it down, but he chose not to. Cleared by McKenna. Long ball for Akanji to deal with. He's got 2 to deal with. Nods it to Rico Lewis. Rico Lewis, my man in the back again, aggressive. But yeah, what a finish that was from Akanji, by the way. Douglas, I love Akanji almost as much as Pep. It's mad, isn't it? I think Akanji does, you know, I still think not everyone's on board with Manuel Akanji. I know Tuna, who's a member of Typical City. Big up to Tuna for being a member, first of all. But I know he's not a big fan of Manuel Akanji, which is fair enough. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, but I've got to say, I disagree. I think Manuel Akanji's been one of our best signings in a long time. When you compare price to value, do you know what I mean? Like the value that you get for 15 million. What an absolute bargain. I mean, really, the Erling Haaland value is just ridiculous. 55 million. 55 million is a joke. Is a joke. And nowadays, people are having a go at us for not spending enough. Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh, you only spent 15 million. Oh, how much are you going to spend on Savio? That's not enough because he's come from one of your own sister clubs. That's not right. You've not spent enough money. How much was Erling Haaland? 55 million. Well, no, what about his wages? All 600 billion of those wages. Oscar Bob driving forward into the penalty area. Oscar Bob, left foot shot, deflected corner ball. City look like we're going to cruise through this, I'm telling you. But yeah. Jonny buying me more than a hobgoblin when we go to a game. Yeah, mate. I owe you a hobgoblin or 2. I'd say maybe even 3, Jeff. Maybe even 3. They're like, I don't know, they're not that. It's not like a bad beer. It's not cheap, but it's not expensive either. But corner ball, Alvarez. Back post, Rodri, off the bar. God, they're terrible at defending corners. I mean, if we're scoring, Alvarez, Grabara's absolutely whiffed it. He's absolutely whiffed it, and it's 2-0 Manchester City. Alvarez with the shot straight down the throat of Grabara, but he's got a hole in the back of his head because it's gone through his throat and out the back of his head into the back of the Copenhagen net for a Manchester City second goal, and it's 2-0 with 9 minutes on the clock. Oh dear, oh dear. I feel there's a little bit of part of me that feels sorry for them, to be honest, because they're going to get annihilated now. They're going to get battered. I mean, when do we score directly from corners? When do we do that? Do you know what I mean? Alvarez's shot was a bit hopeful, to be honest. He's got power behind it. But Grabara, mate, I mean, the guy does really well in past performances. He's done very well against Manchester City. But what the hell was that, mate? I am a bit of a goblin, Church. And you get known as a goblin, don't you? If you start being a YouTuber, you get that association, mate. So I thought, why not? Just like, let's embrace the goblinness. And become, because I will be now known as a guy. There's some fake City fan who follows this channel. I obviously ignore him. He's got like 3 accounts. It's the same guy. I know it's the same guy. If he's watching, hi. But he's got 3 accounts, and he always says, "Oh, there you are. You never go to the games or anything like that." Like I've never been to a game in my life. I'm sure most of you know that I've been a season ticket holder for 32 years, but. Yeah, he seems to suggest that I should always go to games, but that's the image you get as a YouTuber, sadly, and there's nothing I can do to shake that. I only then reiterate that I have been a former season ticket holder, but I will now be known as the guy who streams from his bedroom and never goes to his game. First of all, I've been to plenty of games. Second of all, this isn't a bedroom. But, you know, you gotta take it on the chin, haven't you? It's part and parcel of it. But, I mean, bloody Mark Goldbridge has made an absolute killing by doing it. And you know what? I'm not even in it for the money. I'm not even in this for the money. I'm in it for just the fun of it. That's genuinely, honest to heart, that's why I'm in it. And I'll tell you why I'm in it for that, because I've turned down sponsorships. Like, I've been offered plenty of... Hang on a minute, we've got an injury here. Who's this? You're hoping it's not a City player. It is a City player. Kovacic. Looks winded. He looks in a lot of agony. I think it's winded, though. The way he's acting looks like he's winded. But yeah, no, I'm not in it for the money. Mainly because I want to grow first, and then obviously money comes into it. And if a sponsorship that I like and I agree with comes along, and it doesn't ask for me to be a salesman, you know what I mean, too much, because a lot of these sponsorships want me to sell things to you, and I feel like that's a waste of your time. Like, surely you guys want to sit there and watch someone talk about City, rather than me talk about some product that you're blatantly not interested in, and you're probably already aware of it, and therefore you don't need me to sell it to you. I just feel like it's wasting your time. Do you know what I mean? Eventually, I'm going to have to accept that sponsorships, I need to make money. I've got to make a living. Do you know what I mean? But I'm trying to find that balance of keeping it realistic and fun and good for the viewer while making money as well. Obviously, I need to make a living. That's understandable, I feel. I feel like that's fair. But, you know, yeah, I don't know. But, yeah, we'll see what the future brings with regards to any sponsorships. But for now, yeah, give it a miss for now. Probably for the rest of this season, we'll see. But Raid Shadow Legend, mate, yeah, that would be the worst thing to sell, like Raid Shadow Legends, yeah. Clara, yeah, it went all right. It wasn't really an interview. I'll talk about shaving your balls. Everyone else does, I know, yeah. They were one of them as well. They were one of them. SofaScore was one of them. The football prizes, they were one of them as well. Like selling shirts to you for competition tickets to win a signed shirt and things like that. That I very politely said, keep me in your thoughts, but no, thank you. Yeah, no, it wasn't an interview, Clara. It sort of was in a way, but it was a show that I got invited down to do for the Sun, of all places. But it wasn't the reason why I went ahead with it, because I looked at it and thought, hang on a minute, the Sun want me down. I'm not the biggest fan of their journalism at times. I do disagree with the angles that they go for. But then I had a look at the show that they were inviting me on, and it's not journalistic whatsoever. It's a very light-hearted, comedic, Soccer AM vibes football show that they've just started. It's a brand new show that they've only just started as of about 2 months ago or so. And they invited me on to do a Manchester City episode for them, representing Manchester City down in London. And it was staged at the... Hang on a minute, because Nunes has burst forward with a ridiculous amount of speed. Nunes into the box, and his cross was cleared, but partially to Rico Lewis. Nunes now with an opportunity. He dinks one back post, and Haaland trips. Gvardiol somehow keeps it alive. Oh, does he, though? Haaland slipped. Looked like he could have been tripped. But, yeah, where it was held was interesting, because it was in the Regis building, which is where Talk Sport Studios is, and Talk TV and things like that. So I joked last week that I might see Simon Jordan. Oh, bloody hell, Grabara pissing about with it there at the back. Nearly gives it away. But I joked with the idea of seeing Simon Jordan. I did see Simon Jordan twice, going in the building and out of the building. And he is as pompous and arrogant as you expected him to be. He did not disappoint me. And when the fact that I was there, just literally arrived in reception in the News Regis building, in the TalkSport building, Simon Jordan, I could see him outside on the phone, and he was shouting at somebody on the phone, just pacing back and forth with this crowd of random people, just looking at this guy, just doesn't care that he's having the loudest public phone call in the world. And then he comes in, and he walks in, and he was like, I know, yeah, well, he's just a narcissistic fool. Just tell him, he's a narcissistic fool. Whoever the hell he was on the phone to, that was just so Simon Jordan, those words as well. It's a corner ball to Copenhagen. Akanji clears, edge of the area, over the bar. First little glimpse of hope. But yeah, Simon Jordan absolutely living up to his character that I thought could be a little bit of a character on TalkSport, but that is real him. I also saw Jeremy Kyle, which, yeah, Jeremy Kyle. Cool, yeah. But I did see Jeff Stelling, and I tell you what, he was nice. He seemed like a really nice guy. Walking out of the building, I saw him. He said bye to all the receptionists. He said hi to a few people. The security guard. He stopped for a selfie. You know, Simon Jordan just walks in, just shouting on his phone, ignoring everybody. Just boom, straight in and straight out. But yeah, no, it was really good. It was really good, and I'll point you towards the video that they're currently making right now once it's ready. But yeah, I won't spoil anything for you, so I'll let you find out in your own time. But I did all right. I did all right on the show. I'll tell you what, I was nervous. I was nervous because it was like nothing I've ever been to before. City knocking the ball around really well, by the way, for anyone who's wondering what the hell I'm talking about here. But yeah, it's a dominant performance. But yeah, let me tell you, I was nervous because going in there, it's a proper setup. Like, they had like moving cameras on tracks with like what are they called? What are those things called? I've forgotten the name now. I said it earlier today as well. Those things that teleprompters, that's it. Massive teleprompters. So you can read the script and things like that. And going into quiet zones where you're not allowed to say a word unless you want to be on live TV. And don't go in that door or you will be on TV type situations. And big characters. And like, I had loads of makeup done and everything. I was like, fucking, what are you doing? Like, I said no. They said, like, we've got to put makeup on. And I said, I'm all right. I'm all right for that. Cheers, though. And they said, no, you have to wear makeup. I was like, I don't really want to. And they're like, no, you can't go on without it because your shiny forehead will go bing and spoil the whole show for everybody. So I was like, all right, better put makeup on then. So then I was getting like lathered up with bloody makeup, and then bastards forgot to take it off. Well, I forgot to take it off, and the guy, lovely guy, by the way. All the people there were so nice and welcoming, by the way. Walking out, he said, oh, by the way, you've not taken your makeup off. And he was walking out the door, and I was like, oh, right, okay. Oh, never mind. So there's me walking around bloody London trying to get back to the train station with a bloody tangerine face, walking around public looking like a right lemon. Literally, a lemon. Well, more of an orange. But anyway, Copenhagen bringing it forward. Alvarez down the left-hand side. Are the ears, yeah, they had to, the ears red? No, they're all right, actually. They needed, like, extra special makeup for the ears. Because they were like, Jesus Christ, this guy's ears are so red. The makeup just won't penetrate his ears. So they had to, like, yeah, no, they didn't touch my ears, to be fair. They left them alone, which was surprising. I'm glad my ears didn't spoil the show. It was very red-themed anyway, so it was blended in, but there was lots of talk about the derby and tried to throw a few curveballs at me. But I felt like I did all right. A few fun games and things like that. So I watch it. I'll point you towards it when it's out. And you're supporting me by going and watching it just as much as you are supporting them. And even though it was the Sun, and as much as I'm not a big fan of their journalism, the people that dealt with it was superb. Honestly, they were so nice to me. Really, really nice. Hooked me up with a hotel, man, and paid for my train ticket, so I can't argue. Everyone was super nice. But anyway, 2-0, Manchester City. Pretty dominant, as to be expected so far. I'd like to see something from Nunes tonight. A goal would be good. You know, a goal would be... it's been on the cards. Long ball over the top for Copenhagen here to chase. Ruben Diaz gets underneath it, nods it to Gvardiol, who pokes it round the corner down the line, but that's intercepted by Yellert. But he's giving it away, and here comes Kovacic. Lovely step over from Kovacic, bursts into the central pocket of space, feeds that ball down the line to Erling Haaland, but it's a good bit of defending by, is that Deeks or Vavro? Vavro. Yeah, honestly, I'll carry on talking about the game, Abdul. I'm done talking about it now, so that was it. Haaland into the box. Shot is blocked. We've not only got the Liverpool game to worry about coming up, we've got the quarter-final as well. Newcastle, that's a massive game as well. You know, maintaining this treble that we realistically are going to struggle to get another treble. Let's have it right. Let's be honest. But there is a slim hope. So why not? If there is a chance, why not believe? And it's the fact that we got them at home as well. I'd have been much more worried if it was Newcastle away. Newcastle at home, massive favourites now, I think, for that game. but you never know again. Alvarez with the corner. Comes in right at Grabara. Under. Oof, it nearly went straight in from Alvarez. He was trying to test Grabara. He's already teased him. There's a free kick here, I think, given to Copenhagen, though. Something's been spotted by the referee. Don't know what that was. Was it a Kanji? How's a Kanji? The referee's given a foul from Ankerson on a Kanji, yet Ankerson's got a Kanji in a headlock and bringing him down, and apparently it's a free kick to Copenhagen. The referee was indicating that he was looking at something, but he's just done that, so play on. That's a sympathy vote, that is. That's just sympathising with the fact that they're getting absolutely battered. John with the 2, and Cade acting is back on tonight. Mental. I can't understand. I'm struggling to know what you mean there, mate. I think is that acting? Naked. Oh, Naked Attraction is back on tonight. Figured it out, mate. Figured it out. Naked Attraction is back on tonight. Right. Anyone in the US, I presume you're wondering what the hell that is. But that's a show where people turn up and get naked for one another. And it's a game show, and you start dating each other if you like the look of their penis or vagina. It's as simple as that. John's a big fan. Thanks for sending me a super chat regarding that information, John. Has absolutely nothing to do with football whatsoever, but it's a more than welcome bit of information. Thanks very much, mate. Hope you're good. Hope you enjoy it. I personally won't be watching, but Akanji. Alvarez nods it down. Cleared. Copenhagen bringing it forward. I can't see anything happening tonight other than more goals in the back of the Copenhagen net. To be honest, it's coming as well, and it could be this move. Lovely feet from Oscar Bob. Great footwork, and he's giving the ball away there. Rico Lewis bursts, tries to intercept and help Oscar Bob's bad pass, but couldn't do that. But we've won the ball back. John's watching it with his mum. You're an oddball, you, John, aren't you? And there's part of me that quite likes you. There's another part of me that's heavily, heavily disturbed by you, but a big part of me quite admires that, what you're doing there. That's fair enough, mate. Not something I'd want to do with my mum. But Rico Lewis, Rodri. Cheers for the super chat as well, mate. Rico Lewis into Oscar Bob. What a touch from Oscar Bob that is. Cuts it back. He could have dinked that back post. Haaland was waiting. I feel like Haaland was going to get a goal in this game. No bloody sitters for him, please. Please don't make it too easy for him, otherwise he'll miss. Do you know what I mean? I've still not gotten over that miss against United. Like, I'm so glad it meant nothing. I'm so glad it meant nothing, but that was so bad. So bad. Like, really not good. The more I look at it, it's like he clearly should have gone with his head with that one, shouldn't he? He should have just, like, all he needed to do is that, but he jumped, tried to side foot it, but he just, get your head down there. Just split decision, head it, go with your feet, wrong call. But the fact that he goes and scores anyway does paper over it a little bit. But Ruben Diaz now, I mean, how far we are forward. The defensive line of Manchester City is with 20, 30 yards inside the Copenhagen half. We've retreated a little bit now, but it was almost an inevitable outcome for the game to be played like this. Kovacic with a lovely little feint onto his right and then cuts it onto his left there, beats Clem. Rodri, who I'd like to see come off at half-time as well, with it being 2-0 now. 2-0 is done, isn't it? I mean, even now we could make changes, really. Kovacic dinks it. Oh, he's not going to reach Rico Lewis, but Rico Lewis predicted the header was going to come back out in that direction, and he got in front of it and won the ball back. Ruben Diaz into Rodri. Kovacic. Gvardiol down on the left-hand side. Rodri in between Alvarez and Gvardiol, but Alvarez picks it up. Rodri, Kovacic. Let's have a look. What are they doing at the back? They've got 5. It's just 2 banks of 5 and a 4 from Copenhagen right now. They're sort of pushing up a little bit, but I mean, you'd be infuriated, wouldn't you? You'd be furious being a Copenhagen manager, Jakob Niestrup. You know, you've come here, set up shop, you want to defend well, but you can't legislate for the goalkeeper, Grabara, making a mistake like that. It's just daft, wasn't it? Like crazy, crazy goalkeeping. Church of the Poison Man, what miss? I don't know, mate. I heard he missed a football goal in the Manchester derby. I missed the miss, or you missed the miss just as much, mate. Devious, we're playing so much better without Doku. Well, I don't know, mate. I don't know. Yeah, so far looks that way. Looks that way. And he was missing from training. As much as he had a bad game against United, a very bad game against United, I still want to see more of him. I'm really excited for the future of Doku. If he can educate himself, and Pep can educate him as well, if he's a willing learner, if he's just gets in, just eager, open your ears to Pep Guardiola's tutelage. If you can do that, what a player he could become. If he can learn to refine his skills and, he could blossom into something very, very special. For me, it's decision-making and composure. I think if he can learn to just cool his jets, when he gets into that position, learning when to fire up the pistons and explode, and then cool down when you need to. Phil Foden struggled with that, and Pep Guardiola openly criticised Phil Foden for his inability to slow things down. When David Silva does, how good was David Silva? He made the game look like slow motion, David Silva, didn't he? Phil Foden has always struggled to do that, but this season he's found that balance of exploding and then slowing down and keeping the ball and making the defenders. Because if you act composed on the ball, defenders don't lunge into you, because defenders know that you've got the ability to explode. So it's dangerous to just lunge in at a player that's suddenly slowed the ball down, because they can just flick it past you in an instant. So Doku needs to learn that, and I think he needs to improve he's become a bit of a one-trick pony. That little flick of the right leg, and then to the right he goes. It's always like da-da-da to the right. He needs to try and do something a little bit different. But yeah, there's a future there for Doku, but I agree, we do look a bit better without him. Copenhagen bringing the ball forward. They're in here. Back heel. They're in on goal, and it's 2-1. 2-1. Elyounoussi has made it 2-1. Copenhagen out of absolutely nothing. And it's 5-2 on aggregate. Copenhagen back in the game that represents this leg. Not quite back in the tie, I would say, yet, but you never know. You never know. You almost feel sorry for Copenhagen, class. Well, I bet you don't now, mate, because I certainly don't. And I was with you. I almost felt sorry for them, to be honest. But now they've kind of pissed me off. He was onside as well. It's a great goal, It's a great goal. Ozarkson with his dodgy dealings. Lovely little back heel, bursting forward as well. Elyounoussi with a 1-2. That reminds me, not quite to the same quality. Who remembers that goal with Sergio Aguero and Carlos Tevez away at Norwich, where Aguero lays the ball down the inside channel to Tevez. Tevez stops the ball and backheels it, but he doesn't just backheel it. He backheels it and gets some air on it. Copenhagen are coming forward again here, What the bloody hell are we watching here, Blues? How are they getting back into this game? That's what I'm saying, man. You just can't be completely confident. I've been almost bordering on arrogance for this game. And Copenhagen have fired a warning shot. But yeah, that back heel from Tevez into Aguero. He got air on it, so Aguero could half volley it, and he just smashed it into the top corner. That was in our title running. That was the game Tevez had just come back from his golfing ventures. Who remembers that? When he went missing. He went AWOL, didn't he? Because he refused to come on the pitch with Mancini away at Bayern. And Tevez said, no, I'm off, mate. I'm going to go and play golf for a bit. And that shows the standards of where City were back then, by the way. Because I feel like now City would find that totally unacceptable, and he would not be welcome back. He would be done. He would be finished as a player at Manchester City. If Carlos Tevez did what he did then, in this current team, with Pep Guardiola as manager, there is no way he's coming back and getting straight into a starting 11 with even just a half-arsed apology. And then he had the balls to score a hat-trick, and with his hat-trick goal, he celebrated by doing a golf swing. The balls on him, man, to do that. But we were desperate for anything back then. We as fans were like, we don't care. We need Tevez because we want to win this league. And without him, we probably wouldn't have won the league. So it was massive, but the ball's knocked in. Copenhagen are posing another threat here. Kovacic has got it cleared. But that's the standards now. We have higher levels of like standards as much as like... We were desperate back then. We were desperate for anything, and we hadn't won a Premier League title. We were going toe-to-toe with United. Understandable that we needed everything, every advantage we could possibly gain, even if it was a little bit morally scrupulous, if that's the right terminology. But Copenhagen are going wild here. The fans doing a front-facing Poznan, which is just jumping, really, isn't it? That's just jumping. That's all that is. And it looks good. Copenhagen coming forward again here into the penalty area. Shots blocked by Rico Lewis. Tell you what, you know, we get massive shot coming in from Vavro. It's cleared. Yeah, they're going red again. I can feel the heat. I can feel it. Don't know what it is. Night matches. Weird, isn't it? Proper weird. I would never have known that I had red ears had I not started YouTube, so it's definitely been an eye-opener, an ear-opener. Copenhagen coming down the left-hand side again. Rico Lewis to beat. Oh, we need to batten down the hatches a little bit here. Copenhagen are mounting numerous attacks here. Offside, sloppy, really sloppy from Copenhagen, that is. Yeah. Timmy Mancini not to be messed with. He did forgive Tevez though, had no choice. That's the thing, mate. I feel like it was wrong what Tevez did, refusing to come on the pitch as a substitute. You can't accept that. I mean, I was surprised that he came back. Even then, I was still a little bit like not quite right. But when he scores a hat trick, you're like, as a football fan, you're like, oh well, he's back and he's scoring goals in a Manchester City shirt, so I'm happy. But, great. Gvardiol. Back to Ruben Diaz. Big M. Jeff Spruance is the typical City sugar daddy. Mate, I'd welcome Jeff sugaring whatever father figure you... I don't know what I'm saying. But you're welcome, Jeff, to... the donations, mate, the memberships are unbelievable, mate. So kind of you. Really, really, really is. Gvardiol. Kovacic. Alvarez offering a good run. Haaland's through the middle, though. Holds it up. Lays it off to Alvarez. Really good football. Oh, Alvarez took an extra second too long to get his shot away. But that was good play all round there, really. Other than the dilly-dallying of Alvarez... If he could get his shot away a bit quicker there, that would have probably been 3-1 if he got it on target with the way Grabar has been goalkeeping in this game so far. Vavro in his own penalty area. Back to McKenna. Yellert. Back to Vavro. Clem boots it all the way to Deeks. Sorry, that's not Deeks. Ankerson, sorry. Vavro. You know what? Copenhagen, fair play to them. Fair play to them. They've absolutely rocked up and they've taken a beating. 10 minutes into the game, 9 minutes into the game, 2-0 down, 5-1 down at the time on aggregate. And they've shown some balls, mate. They've rocked up and they've shown some courage, bravery to believe. They have to come out. Do you want to just get... I feel like if they just sat back and defended, they'd get battered. So why not get battered with a bit of pride? You know, try something. Try. If you're going to get battered with your head held high. And they're doing that. They're doing that in fairness to them because City could easily... They've opened up a little bit here, Copenhagen. So you wait for Manchester City to get the ball back with Copenhagen knocking it about reasonably well. They've brought the ball forward here with a Chori. Elianusi collects the ball. They're knocking it about, They're knocking it about. It's just when they lose it, they're going to be reasonably exposed here. But Ozarkson. Great show that, innit? Ozarks. McKenna bursts forward and he's just bodied. Is that Oscar Bob? He's just smashed him in the chest there. He had the ball, but I think he was a bit too aggressive with his handoff. I think it's straight into the throat or the chest of Oscar Bob by the looks of it. He's all right though, Oscar Bob. Yeah, straight into his throat or jaw or something. Yeah, I'm not sure that's a foul, to be honest. Liverpool have got bloody Mo Salah back as well, haven't they? Ready for Sunday. That's a bastard. That's a big blow. They've got the big hitters back, haven't they? They've got the big hitters back, more or less. Well, they've got, other than Alisson, they've got Van Dijk and Mo Salah, and to me, that's enough to worry about. Defensively, him and Konate have been so good at the back for Liverpool. Haaland's going to have a really difficult task of doing anything against them two. But could he be a decoy? Could he be a sacrificial player? Someone that occupies Van Dijk and Konate to the point where your De Bruyne's, your Phil Foden's get more space. I'm quite happy for sorry, not Oscar Bob. He's just got the ball. That's why I said his name. But for Haaland to be just a bit, used in a way that he probably won't like. If you're Erling Haaland, you're being told that, right, go on the pitch and be marked. Just be marked by 2, preferably. Do you know what I mean? It's oh, great, that sounds like a barrel of laughs, that does. What a great job for me today. Go and stand there and run around while Van Dijk shadows me the whole game and Konate shadows me as well. Not enjoyable. It's frustrating. But Haaland's kind of made his bed, mate. That's the player you are. You've made yourself that player. If you want to be a different type of player, then you need to adapt your game. But as of right now, Haaland's game is a fixed focal point for any starting 11. Whatever the opposition, they're always going to try and double team Erling Haaland. So it's up to him to either offer something different or accept what you are. And if you get any scraps, take your chances, mate. Take your chances. Game's cooled down a little bit now. City have got the ball a bit more frequently now after that little flurry from Copenhagen. My dupes. Made up story. How I didn't read that is beyond me. Made up story. Madrid are playing shit tonight. What's the score, mate? What is the score? I could technically get that on here as well, actually, but I can't be doing 2 watch-alongs. Let's focus. It's hard enough to focus on one. But Nunes bringing it forward. Got RB Leipzig, haven't they? Arsenal have got Porto next week. I feel like they'll turn that round with ease. Arsenal as well, they're bloody worrying. How do you feel? How do you feel about the title? Do you know what I mean? Because I was just I can't call it. I just can't call it. Right now, it's just 33, 33, 33. 0.33333, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's flip of a 3-sided coin, if there is such a thing. There isn't such a thing. I just made it up. But Arsenal, lovely ball from Rodri. Haaland into Alvarez. Lovely link-up play between them two. Alvarez's shot. Oh, Vavro gets a vital touch on it, but and a Chori there with a lovely little flick, but doesn't come off. Akanji keeps the ball well there. Rodri. The awareness of Rodri's ball into Erling Haaland. And he's done great so far, Haaland, because there's been a couple of moments where that ball's been fed into him right in the middle of the pitch, right in his number 9 role, and he's held it up well. He's 2 or 3 times he's now laid it off to Alvarez. Once a bit early where Alvarez didn't get his shot away enough quick enough. And just then, good bit of play from Erling Haaland. So his game's evolving. He's becoming better at holding that ball up. There was moments against United which I was impressed with his number 9 play, I really was. It's just that miss. Stood out like a sore thumb, that, didn't it? Jonathan P. City What game are you playing now? Banishers, Ghost of New Eden. That's what I'm playing, mate. Have you ever played it? It's just come out a couple of months, 3 weeks ago? It's good. Stream's becoming a dating app. Who's dating? Who's dating on my stream? Mate, I'd be quite happy if love is found in my chat, then I'm all for finding love. Find love in my chat. But Copenhagen, they can piss off for love. I'm not loving their attacking ability right now, but they're offside. There you go. Ankerson flagged offside. Bit sloppy, that's a couple of times. Yeah, it's Jeff, it's probably like a double A game. Banishers. Have you ever played Vampire? Which is like, that's a good game as well. It's made by the same makers of Vampire. Good game. Now, my middle name begins with an S, actually. See if you can guess it. Good job, I've got another hobgoblin here. Clara and Ziola are dating, are they? Ah, good. Fair play to him. Have we just... Susan? Jeff, mate. Fuck off, Jeff. I'm sick of your shit. Honestly. The mind-reading ability of Jeff is ridiculous. You spelt it wrong, but you've got it right. Yeah, it is Stuart. It is Stuart. You did nail it. Sick of Jeff, man. That's it. That's the right way to spell it. Yeah. See if you can guess my national insurance number now. And my bank card details. See if you can guess them. Don't, Jeff. Because you'll get it right. And I'm sick of it. Stop it. But, yeah, Clara and Ziola are both girls, but who knows? There's nothing wrong with that. Unless one of you says there is. Yeah, we battered them 5-0 last year, didn't we, at the Etihad? It's not looking quite as comfortable as it did in the beginning of the game, but plenty of time to go. Half-time is fast approaching. That's flown by, that. Alvarez free kick. It's whipped in. It's cleared. Up in the air. Half cleared. Rico Lewis or Oscar Bob gets underneath it. I keep getting them two mixed up. It's the great big bushy afros. Once they start running, the running style is so clear. Rico Lewis, like, he tucks his shoulders up, doesn't he? And he runs like a little traction engine. Like Oscar Bob, like, he like glides, doesn't he, Oscar Bob? It's mad running styles, isn't it? Everyone's got such a unique way of running. Kovacic, I was doing that for Rico Lewis. Kovacic is like, fucking, where's his neck, mate? Kovacic is just like, wind your neck in, mate. What neck? I ain't got a neck. Kovacic's shoulders are like here. But that's very unique. Haaland's running style as well. He's just like, he's like pissed off with the grass, isn't he, Haaland? He's just like, I hate every blade of grass. Ball in, Nunes, Grabara, oh, McKenna with a vital bit of defending on the line. Long ball from Rodri, bit of a signature move from Rodri, to be honest. And it's offside, so it wouldn't have counted anyway. But this is a signature pass from Rodrigo. It really is. All season we've been seeing that. Normally it's been Kyle Walker getting on the end of that run, that late run coming in from wide right, getting into that 6-yard box or just outside to the right of the 6-yard box. Nunes is the man. He sort of scuffs his attempted cross back across goal, gets it, bounces off the floor, goes over Grabara's head, looking like it was going to drop into the net, but McKenna nods it off the line, but it was offside anyway. But good bit of play. That Rodri ball has been on all season, and it's a great little move. Great little move. Sterling, yeah, Lindsay, absolutely. Sterling's got a great running style. Well, I say great. It's unique. You can tell it's him, can't you? Eden Hazard mocked him, didn't he? He's like a little T-Rex, isn't he? With a big bum. Oh, 3 minutes of added time. Copenhagen did all right in the response to their loss to Manchester City. They went on a back-to-back wins in the Danish Superliga, following on from the loss to City in 3-1 at the Parken Stadium. But last Friday, they lost 2-0 to FC Midtjylland, which City have got European history. When we were dogging it in the Europa Leagues, we played Midtjylland. I'm sure some City fans will remember that. Stephen Island days playing Midtjylland. They're now in the title race between Copenhagen and Midtjylland. Copenhagen lost 2-0. So that was a massive blow to their title chances. So they might be feeling sorry for themselves a little bit, but in fairness to them, they've responded to the two Manchester City goals reasonably well. They've kept it from getting any worse, and they've made it better by scoring a goal. So as much as I'm more bothered about the two legs than I am this particular game, we can't be not winning this game. Even a draw would be daft, you know what I mean? We should be winning this game. Now we can't make as many substitutes at half-time as I would have liked. Had, 2-0 or a 2-goal deficit. We score now before half-time, then I feel like Pep could change it. But at 2-1, he's got to come out with a strong team again, hasn't he? Which is frustrating. Long ball from Rodri. Could we get the third? Haaland's brought it down. Great play from Erling Haaland. Erling Haaland makes it 3-1. I ask, and Erling Haaland delivers. 3-1. What a goal, by the way. What a goal that was from Erling Haaland. The ball from Rodri was sensational. The touch from Erling Haaland to bring it down. He plucks it down, waits for that ball to come over his shoulder, brings it down with his right foot. Looks like he's going to shimmy onto his right, but he cuts back onto his left. And his shot looked like it was deflected into that bottom right-hand corner with Grabara going the far corner. It comes in this side on Grabara's left side instead. But Haaland power to prevent Yeller getting anything near it. Does he get a deflection or does he just bury it? I'm not sure. It does get a deflection. Oh, he's just buried it. It's just a fantastic goal. It's just a great goal from Erling Haaland. No, it does get a deflection. It does. Ian, absolutely, mate. Haaland. That signature Rodri pass, mate. Soul King Jack. OBS says it's disconnected. Let me know if I'm still here. Am I still here? I said I'd fix it last time and I just didn't. So, let me know if I'm still here or not. Stream's fine. Good. Brilliant. Thanks. But, yeah, 3-1. Do you want to see changes now? What would you do, though? You'd surely only bringing on the kids, really, aren't you, at this point? Your Hamiltons, Sissoko, your Jacob Wrights, you could bring them on. Sissoko. But you'd be bringing on Sissoko for, like, Kovacic or maybe Rodri. Do you want to risk bringing on John Stones for Rodri? No, I personally don't. I don't want to see any major injuries from players that are in key positions that are likely to start the game against Liverpool. That's the concern, isn't it? That's the concern. But yeah, nearly 250 watching with 120 likes. If you've just joined, please pop a like on the stream. It really, really helps. And subscribe if you're new as well. That'll be a big help as well. But yeah, pretty comfortable, really. Pretty comfortable. Truth hurts. You're new here. Very welcome, mate. Good to see you. Let's go City. Hope you're good, mate. Hope you're good. Welcome to Typical City. And Vavara. Hope we avoid all of the choices. Maybe face Dortmund or PSG. Yeah, what's the vote saying? Still 58% for Real Madrid as the most unwanted team to face in the next round with 333 votes. Arsenal 23%. Inter Milan with 12%. Yeah. I mean, who are the possibilities? Because there's no seeding now. We could face... I'm going to end the poll, by the way, so get your vote in last second to see if you can have any effect on that. But, yeah, most people sticking with Real Madrid. The votes started piling in as soon as I said that. So, yeah, brilliant. Real Madrid seems to be the most unwanted team. We don't want Bayern. Yeah, we don't want Bayern. Yeah, see, I never included Bayern because I feel like they are extremely doable this season. But you're absolutely right. It's just the name Bayern Munich, isn't it? And the fact that they played quite well last night against Lazio. They played pretty well. You know they've got an agenda against City as well with what's gone on off the field. De Spiegler, all the journalistic problems with the fact that they were the spearhead they hired, or did they hire? I personally think they hired the hacker Rui Pinto to go and investigate and illegally obtain emails from Manchester City's database. Bayern Munich's had their fingerprints all over that, mate. All over that. It's not a coincidence that it just so happened that information from the hacker ended up with Bayern Munich all of a sudden, and their most covered publication, De Spiegler, happened to publish it. What a coincidence. You know, Bayern have got an agenda against us. They've got an agenda against us. So, yeah, they will be fired up to beat Manchester City. They will want to enact some revenge from last season where we pretty comprehensively beat them. We struggled at the Allianz, and that's always a place that you just do not want to go. But we have got a great record there. We've got a great record there. I remember turning it round 2-0 down as well at the Allianz. I think James Milner scored a great goal. And did Aguero get 2? Or did Dzeko score? Or who was it? I can't remember. I know James Milner and Aguero scored at the Allianz. I remember in the white kit with the blue and black stripe. Or blue and dark, light blue and dark blue stripe. That was a great game. I really enjoyed that game. We also turned it round at the Etihad as well. Aguero penalty. I think Aguero hat-trick, actually, at the Etihad. So we've done all right against Bayern. And strangely, we've had reasonably good time against them. So maybe that's my memory playing tricks on me to think that they are an easier team to beat than in reality that they actually are. But the fact there's that, and how badly they've been playing this season. Certainly in comparison to the likes of Bayer Leverkusen that have been playing really, really well and highlighting the problems at Bayern Munich. And Thomas Tuchel's reputation as a manager is becoming debatable as well. I feel like the way he left Chelsea wasn't great. The fact that I think Chelsea realistically let him go too soon. He could have done a better job than what they left with Lampard came in after, as much as and then Graham Potter as well, and just they should have stuck with Tuchel. Following the two managers that followed, they should have stuck with Tuchel. Pochettino, let's see. He really needs to have another year to prove himself, really. But Bayern Munich is someone that I agree, Big M. It's someone that I've not really considered fairly in that poll that I've ended. But Dvedra, thank you so much for the super chat. You left me and Mum at the age of 3, mate. Confess. What? You left me and Mum at the age of 3, mate. Trying to figure that out, mate. Trying to figure out what are you talking about there. What the hell are you talking about? I am so confused right now. I left you and Mum. So you're my dad in this scenario. Oh. Wait. No, so am I your dad? Or are you saying you banged my mum? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying? Or this is odd. What a great super chat. You've utterly thrown me. $2 very well spent, to be honest. Because I am so confused right now. So confused. Truth hurts. Well, this is awkward. The truth hurts, mate. Your name speaks more volume than your actual comment. Yeah. Did you used to be a milkman, Johnny? No, I didn't used to be a milkman. That's the last job in the world, man. I can't be arsed getting up at that time. Can't be arsed. Even if you do get to bang a load of strange women. Nah, not for me. Not for me. I don't know why the milkmen tend to get it away more frequently than any other job. It's like postman second, isn't it? As the other occupation to have an affair with is the postman. Oh, why the hell is a milkman number 1? What's going on there? Do you know what I mean? Like, why are milkmen so attractive? And do you know what's crazy? I know a milkman that's had an affair. I know of one. I know someone who used to work where my partner used to work. Oh, no, she used to work there. My partner still works there, and she left and they had an affair. I'm obviously not going to name names because that's inappropriate, but it was with a milkman. What a fucking weird thing. It's milkman, like the sexiest man alive. Milkman. It's crazy. I need to become a milkman. I'm in the wrong job. I think milk is an aphrodisiac. Yeah. Daniel Wang, put on the reserves. That's it, Daniel. Let's change the subject, mate. Yeah. Where's Devara? Whatever his name was, Devara. He's thrown a grenade in the chat and he's pissed off. That's what he's done. He's not even said a word since then. He's just thrown a grenade in the chat. He went, fire and blow! And boom. And then he's pissed off. Look at him. Mr. Manchester City, Real have struggled to beat RB Leipzig. What's the score? Need to have a look. But, yeah, chat's getting weird tonight, isn't it? We're getting proper weird. Let's get weird. Let's get weird. It's 0-0 at half-time. I'm sure you all knew that because you've got easier access than I do. But, yeah, 3 shots Real Madrid have had. None on target. RB Leipzig have had 6 with 1 on target. So the stats indicate a reasonably even game. Jonny used to use the getting milk like and left, apparently. Jeff loves getting weird. They need to bring strikers in, outlaw. Hannah, the first half was kind of boring. Well, it was 3-1. 3-1, but I know what you mean. I feel like the game was going to be a little bit like that because I felt like it was a foregone conclusion, Hannah, to be honest. But no, I do feel what you mean in some degree. But I mean, we've just seen 4 goals in the first half, so it's not that boring. But I think if you're a neutral, you're like, yeah, you're totally unimpressed, aren't you? And the whole thing around City right now is boring City, and the term jeopardy, the lack of it, the lack of jeopardy when Manchester City are playing a team, because we've made it a science, haven't we, to beat teams. I mean, if you're a football purist, and I like to think there are probably purer purists than me out there, but I do consider myself a football purist. I like to see innovative tactics. I like to see what's new, what can be introduced into the game that we've never seen before. And I feel like Pep Guardiola's delivering that, and he has brought about an almost inevitability to results, you know, and that might be the case. But there is the factor the other way. From a City fan point of view, most fans go to games hoping they win. We have a different mentality of, like, we go there expecting to win, and we must not lose, because of the standards that have been set by this side that are being very well met by the likes of Liverpool and Arsenal this season. So fair play to them. You've got to take your hats off to those two teams for going toe-to-toe with Manchester City. Fair play. But that's made it good. We've made them up their game. So why is that a problem? We've increased the quality of football. We've increased the standards to the point where it's not unachievable for them to compete with us. The fact that Arsenal bottled it, Liverpool bottled it, and we beat them by 98 points and they finished on 97 points. It's not our fault. It's not like we've walked one league when we finished 21 points ahead of United. That was one league we've walked. The rest, we've been in a title race, and I consider that last season. And Arsenal bottled it with 5-6 games to go, but that was it. That was it. Jeff, Jonathan Stewart, typical. Love you, man. Thank you very much for the super chat, Jeff. Appreciate that, mate. And Devedra's back. Have you got another grenade for us, mate? Thanks very much, because you freaked me out. You freaked everybody out. You've disturbed me, mate. I still don't understand. I'll go back and I'll watch it later, and I'll go back to that point where you sent that chat, and I'll be like, oh, that's what he meant. But right now, it's like whoosh, mate. Absolute whoosh. I'm still blagged, mate. Totally blagged. But you left the chat just like how you left us for milk. What does that even mean? I don't know. I like milk with my cereal. You mean the milkman? What's in this? What is in this? I do not understand. I do not understand. BC Plays 2017 and 18 was a great year. Was that the... that was the 100-point year, wasn't it? That's the year we walked it. Say it back, Jonathan Stewart, typical. What do you mean? I left the... gone blagging the crap out of me. Oh, I love you back. Oh, right, of course. I love you too, mate. Of course, absolutely. Sorry. I didn't realise you were a high-maintenance individual, Jeff, that needed that reciprocation. I thought it was just a given. I thought this relationship was just an unspoken two-way street, that there's just a... You know, I didn't think you needed it. But, okay. I love you too, mate. I love you too. God, needy. But yeah, no, genuinely love you too, mate. Love you too. Yeah. But I love Manchester City. And they're 3-1 up right now. Comfortable. Very, very comfortable. So what are we? 6-2 on aggregate? Who would you want to see on? I think the kids, really. I think the kids. Jonny Wonder, how do you solve the puzzle? What puzzle's that, mate? Lachel Blue. Here comes big money. Are you ready, Jonny? Peter. Peter. Will he notice? What are you going to do, Peter? Don't be ridiculous. Don't do something silly. I hope it's 50p. But you want to see Micah Hamilton play? Yeah, mate. Yeah, I want to see the kids play. I want to see the kids play. You know, Pep's already out in the dugout as well. Micah Richards, roll him out. Yeah. Such a unit, isn't he, Micah Richards? Big dude. It's a huge gift, Peter. Do you want a drum roll, mate? I used to beatbox, mate. Still can beatbox. I'm not going to do it today, though. But I used to go on the streets when I was younger. Good to see you, Khalid. Hope you're well, mate. And Avik as well. You want to see Pat play? Do you know what? He could do a job. And there you go. Sergio Gomez coming onto the pitch. As expected, someone had to come on. I feel like the rotation needed to take place. But for who? I haven't seen who's come off. Second half's about to get underway. It looks like Rodri. It looks like Rodri. I can't see Rodri. Which is a great shout from Pep. Great shout. Jeff beatboxed. Here comes Peter's gift. You keep saying that. It's not. You're going to be doing this all the way through the second half, aren't you, mate? And then, at the final whistle, you're like, oh, sorry, mate, I've got to go now. I've got to go. Pep for Rodri. But yeah, no, I used to beatbox. I used to, you know, back in the day when, like, going out, oh, bloody hell, Edison's nearly giving it away. Copenhagen has given it away. Copenhagen are in. Kovacic, gets back and wins the ball back. Edison with a sloppy start to this second half. Ozarkson intercepts, or was it Clem? I think it was Ozarkson, sorry. Intercepts the ball, but we get away with it thanks to Kovacic's awareness to get back and win the ball back. But yeah, back in the day, I'm a big hip-hop fan as well. I do enjoy my hip-hop. I like all music. I've got an incredibly eclectic taste of music, but hip-hop would be my preferred genre of music. But, yeah, back in the day when you used to hang around on the streets because you didn't have a car to go in and you hadn't passed your driving test, so you'd go out on the streets and drink White Lightning, 99p litre bottles of cider, like unbelievably garbage, absolute crap White Lightning, and rap and beatbox like the absolute gangsters that we were, you know. Yeah, like so far from gangster it's untrue, but you thought it back in the day, didn't you? Well, I did anyway, but I did deep down know that I couldn't be further from a gangster. But all my mates were rappers and I was the little beatboxer. Oscar Bob, oh, good ball attempt there, but it was stifled out there. A good bit of defending from Copenhagen. Ankerson. Haaland pressing. Timmy was young in the 70s. Did they do beatboxing in the 70s? It was more like like that, wasn't it? Like, what's that word when you what is that? You know, like the jazz, more like jazzy beatboxing. What's that word now? It's where they make music, where they have that deep voice guy. What's it called now? It's on the tip of my tongue. Where they have the like the boom 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 like that, and then they like did like, and lots of guys would make different noises, and they'd have like one guy with like this most beautiful voice ever. What's it called? Where did your 10-year-old friend go? I don't know, Coogan. Have we got a 10-year-old in the chat? Barbershop Quartet. Jeff, mate. You're brilliant. You know exactly what I'm on my mind. That's exactly what I was talking about. Barbershop Quartet. They're so good, Barbershop Quartets, aren't they? I feel like that was what Timmy was doing back in the 70s, rather than beatboxing. I feel like that's what... Sorry, mate. I'm dissing your age there, mate. Mate, I would have loved to have been there to hear you doing some Barbershop Quartet. But City dominating the first few minutes, other than that Edison mistake that was very nearly punished by Copenhagen. Probably should have been punished as well, and would have been frustrating to come away. I don't want to see any more goals going in the back of Manchester City's net, because that little 5-minute flurry from Copenhagen was, fair, understandable, but we need to be a bit more solid now, and no conceding 2 goals now would be daft. Hey up, Ben. Thank you so much for becoming a typical City legend. Top man. Thank you very much. You were punk rockers, were you, Timmy? Yeah, I went through. Limp Bizkit was a big phase for me. I did enjoy Limp Bizkit. They were cool. Copenhagen knocking the ball around at the back. City preventing any sort of passages of play or any build-up. Not looking likely to happen at the minute. Sergio Gomez. He's got a point to prove, Sergio Gomez, because I feel like he's... Haaland's been fed. Kovacic, his lovely ball. Haaland spins and his shot's blocked, but somehow he still got the ball. He didn't know where it was. He was looking around. Where's the ball gone? And it suddenly dropped down in front of him out of nowhere. It's well played from Kovacic. Kovacic has been brilliant, by the way, this game. He really has, and so impressed by him. In the last 3 or 4 games I've seen him play, he's been fantastic. Really enjoyable to watch, Mateo Kovacic. Nunes has been pretty anonymous in this game. Haven't seen much of him. Would like to see more of him. I'd like to see more of Oscar Bob. He's looked a little bit more threatening than Nunes. There's a couple of bits of footwork from Oscar Bob that have been really good. But Nunes has been really, really quiet. He's out on the right-hand side as well, playing right wing. He's had a mature performance, to be honest, Nunes, because he's playing wide and he's staying wide, and I know that's what Pep wants. Sergio Gomez is playing in the middle, so Kovacic is playing the defensive midfield role on his own, without a Rodri alongside him. Akanji's not pushing forward. Rico's probably pushed in a little bit there. Might help out Kovacic, because I don't want to see Kovacic on his own. He's a great player, but he can't cover the ground to the extent Rodri can. You know, he's not that good. Single pivot. 3-1 up against Copenhagen. Yeah, it's not that much to worry about. But Kovacic shouldn't be playing single pivot on his own in any big games. No way. Absolutely not. Gvardiol. Back to Diaz. Oscar Bob bringing it forward. Gomez. Kovacic, edge of the area. He's got Nunes outright. Turns back though, comes to the left side. Gomez, Oscar Bob. Gvardiol. It's good play this from City. Copenhagen chasing shadows, and the bad ball from Sergio Gomez down the line to Oscar Bob. It's intercepted by Vavro. Knocks it down to Ozarkson. Gvardiol intercepts. Still got the ball. Gvardiol, good play from Gvardiol there. Really good. Alvarez holds it up. Strength. Oh, and he's giving it away though, Alvarez. And you don't normally say strength and Alvarez in the same sentence, to be honest, because that's not his forte. Not the strongest player in the world. But he did show a bit of strength there. Hold off the player, but then he gave it away. Ken, when are City's 115 charges being taken to court? I'm not sure they will, mate. I'm not sure they will. Peter, where's this bloody gift of yours? I'm more out of curiosity than anything. Like, you've piqued my interest, mate. But, no, please don't feel like you have to do anything on this channel. Absolutely do not super chat unless you can afford it. Cooper, Vinny may get sent off. He pulled a Rodri against Forest, did he? Really? Interesting. And that'll be a 3-game ban as well, won't it? In which case, if we were to draw Real Madrid, no Vinicius Jr. wouldn't say no to that. He only got a yellow, did he? Oh, right. It was all kicking off the other night as well, wasn't it, with Jude Bellingham and the goal that went in just after the final whistle. A bit dodgy, that, wasn't it? A bit dodgy. I can see why he was annoyed, to be honest. He's also being investigated for something he said to Greenwood, Mason Greenwood. I have a feeling I know what he said. But they've got lip readers involved to discuss what Jude Bellingham said to Mason Greenwood. Whether that comes to anything, we'll have to wait and see. And also, there was breaking news tonight that Leicester have been... The EFL, as in the Championship, have agreed that they're going to have to change the rules, the financial rules, because Leicester have found a loophole. But it's like, it's almost being applauded. Like, the way it was reported was like, Leicester have found a loophole, so now the EFL, they've got to change their financial rules. And it's like, well, they didn't do anything wrong, Leicester, because it's just a loophole. It's up to the EFL. You know, it's up to them. You know, doesn't that sound familiar? Except the agenda against the club versus the league is totally different to what we had to deal with. We found loopholes, but we weren't applauded for it. We were labelled as cheats. You know what I mean? Ball whipped in, cleared. Gomez, right foot. Oh, it's blocked. Love to see a Gomez goal. Alvarez brings it down. Do you know what I mean? We have found loopholes, and they've changed the rules because of the sponsorship dealings in Manchester City and things like that. Yet Leicester, you know, the EFL have changed the rules, and they've taken to cross in, back post, Haaland's under it. Can't get under it enough, though. It's gone all the way over. Gvardiol's keeping it alive. Sergio Gomez, and he's giving it away. Oh, corner ball, referee. Referee, linesman's missed that. You absolute... That went out of play. I could see that. Linesman didn't catch up with the play there. Sergio Gomez thinks it's the corner as well. But referee says, nope, throw in. And now Gomez looks like he was offside there. No, he's on. City keeping the ball. But yeah, unbelievable. It's just typical, isn't it? Like, I'm happy for Leicester. But they found a loophole, basically, that's something to do with... the fact that, you know, the new rules in PSR that you have to split your revenue over the course of 3 seasons. So you're allowed 35 million losses over 3 seasons. But they're saying, well, our 3rd season is now in the Championship, which therefore is not included as the Premier League rules. So we shouldn't be required to be upholding those rules that are being split over divisions. And an independent court has deemed that Leicester are correct, and the EFL need to change their rules. So the EFL and the Premier League, by the way, they're in the same bed. They are the same people, effectively. They are run by the umbrella of the FA, and there's lots of people, there's lots of conversations and intertwined relationships between those two, and lots of agreed dealings. And obviously the rules need to be tweaked a little bit because the revenue's obviously different between leagues. But in reality, it's the same sort of dealings, but it's just frustrating that City is still being labelled as cheats for finding loopholes in these crap rules that the Premier League came up with that are consistently being revised year in, year out, and we're still having to fend off accusations of being cheats while Leicester are getting a pat on the back for finding a loophole. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I agree, to me. It is fair. I used to be a big wrestling fan, but had it spoiled for me when I realised it was fake. That ruined everything. But yeah, Stone Cold Steve Austin was the man. Right? Wasn't a big fan of The Rock. Substitute from Copenhagen, the Danish Phil Foden, is leaving the pitch. Froholt, number 47. And on comes Maatsen, who scored a very good goal at Parken Stadium in the first leg against Manchester City. I think that was an Edison mistake, if memory serves me, from the first leg. But, I mean, he took it well. It was a great finish. Oscar Bob. The way he stops and starts again. Sergio Gomez with a great ball across the face of goal, but no one's in there. I don't think anyone was expecting him to whip it in quite like that. It was a good ball. But Oscar Bob, he's got this ability to stop, start. And it's just like the defenders don't know what to do. But Achori bringing the ball forward here. Copenhagen looking for a second. Ankerson. Back to Vavro. Yeah, I remember that big M. Yeah, Rooney, made up story, as in the Rooney on this pitch. He scored against United, if I remember rightly as well, because they beat United, didn't they, in the group stage? Yeah, he's a good player apparently. Triple H, Mankind, and Stone Cold era was awesome. Yeah, it really was, Ian. So good. Kovacic. Alvarez. He needs to up his game a little bit, Alvarez, there. Like, hold-up play needs to be better there. Kanji. That finish from Akanji, by the way. What a finish that was. Go and look, type in, after this stream, go and have a look at some of the Ed Dzeko. Type in, I don't know what you need to type in, but type in Ed Dzeko at Old Trafford. And there'll be a couple of goals, because he scored a tap-in as well. But he scored a goal from a corner at the Stretford end. I think it was the Stretford end, yeah. Where, almost identical. It was a duplicate goal of Akanji. Just this side foot volley just whipped into the top corner like that. It was almost identical to Akanji's goal. But Nunes, driving forward down that right-hand side. He's got Copenhagen players to beat, though, so goes back to Akanji. An hour mark has passed. And City have not really done anything to threaten the Copenhagen net in the second half, and neither have they, though, in fairness. It's been a bit of a flat second half with the substitutes, both teams making substitutions. Kind of expect the tempo to dwindle a little bit, which was always going to happen, but... Oh, yeah, the one off his knee at Old Trafford. That was in the 6-1. So this goal that Dzeko scored... It wasn't in the 6-1. I think it was in the 3-1 or 3-0. It might have been the game... That's the thing. We've battered them that many times now. You lose track of which game it was. Back in the day, if you beat United, you'd cherish that and you'd remember every single minute of the game. Whereas now, it's all merging into one. It happens so frequently, isn't it? It's like, how do you... I can't keep track of all the goals we've scored against United. But I think it might have been that Yaya Toure one. It might have been the game where Aguero ran across the whole back line of United's back line and burst into the area and then just smashed it top right-hand corner. And there's that iconic image of Aguero just looking angry as he fizzes it and Phil Jones sliding in and his face is just like... just trying to stop the ball, and Phil Jones's face is just... He's got some great facial expressions, Phil Jones, hasn't he? He's great. Hey, on the show, that reminds me of Phil Jones. How many... ball from Copenhagen's gone out for a goal kick. One of the little quiz shows that I did on the show, I'm going to spoil a little bit of the show for you here, but I want to see what the chat can do. One of the questions that I had to do, and I won't spoil what I had to do while answering these questions, by the way, I won't spoil for you, but was name as many Phils or Felipes or Phillips in the Premier League that have ever played in the Premier League as possible. Go, now. Name as many as you can. It's Phils. pretty hard. Like, I was struggling after a while. Like, I got 4. Now, I'll tell you the ones I got. I got Phil Foden. I got Phil Jones. I got Coutinho. Felipe Coutinho. I got Phil Bardsley. And I think that was it. I only had 40 seconds to do it, mind you. Khaled, thank you so much for the super chat, mate. Super, super kind of you. As always, your donations are really, really kind, mate. Thank you. Really, really appreciate that. Hello, Johnny. Hello, everyone. Good to see you. Khaled, yep, there you go. Jagielka and Neville as well. Struggled with that. I can't believe I didn't get them. Like, they were the two kind of obvious ones, weren't they? Phil Jagielka. And the fact that I got Phil Bardsley, but I didn't get Phil Jagielka or Phil Neville. But Phil bloody Bardsley, where did that come from? Some strange corner of my brain dug that out from somewhere. How's it going, Jenny? Issa, good to see you. That's it, mate. Injuries, key. Absolutely key. Can't be getting any injuries in this game. Yep, Phil Jones, I got that one. Yep, Phil Jones, that was the one I got. Phil Foden, Phil Jones, Phil Coutinho, Felipe Coutinho. And one I forgot afterwards, Senderos. Felipe Senderos, do you remember him? Phil Coulson, yeah. What's he doing, Pep? He's bringing on John Stones. High risk manoeuvre. Vinicius Jr., who the chat suggests should be sent off for doing a little bit of a Rodri on Morgan Gibbs-White. I've not seen it. I'm going off what you've described to me, but he only got a yellow card for that. And now he's found the back of the net. 1-0 Real Madrid. But he's bringing on bloody John Stones. What's he thinking here, Pep? That's a real surprise. Just, I mean, hypothetically, it's like hindsight, isn't it? I mean, if he doesn't get injured, great. But what if he does, mate? The quality we've seen in our midfield in the last 2 games as well, when John Stones has been in the middle of it, it's been sensational. They did some really interesting analysis of John Stones' performance on Sky as well, talking about his role. It was really interesting, and I completely agree that he was very high up the pitch, wasn't he? A bit like Haaland, a little bit. Just a bit of a decoy. Someone to just like, God, he's there. Oh, I've got to think about him. You know what I mean? He's in a pocket of space, and if he's free, you can trust John Stones to give him that ball. You can feed it into him. He's got a beautiful, silky touch. He's got the awareness his spatial awareness. He doesn't panic. He's got the composure. I mean, he's worked his way up the pitch, hasn't he, mate? Like from centre-back to defensive midfield to now playing almost as a number 10. Amazing, amazing player. And as excited as I am to see him play from a tonight perspective, I'm thinking about the Liverpool game. And you're going to bring him on for 25 minutes of football left. You're just praying, like Issa suggests, please, no injuries, please. Because if Copenhagen are bringing it forward, by the way, now, Akanji's standing up the play, but Copenhagen are in. Maatsen, saved by Edison, cleared by Nunes, and that was an opportunity for 3-2. And you don't want to be bringing John Stones onto the pitch when it's 3-2, because that's going to up the tempo. It's going to make his job more difficult. They don't bring him on at all. I'm surprised he's bringing him on at all. I really am. I really am. Most top 3 hip-hop artists, Most Def, Nas, Dr. Dre. For me, it's probably Biggie, Big L. Mate, I go underground, though. I've got underground people you might not have even heard of. Jedi Mind Tricks, Immortal Technique. Massive fan of Immortal Technique. Been to Brixton in London to see Immortal Technique. And that was a bit rough, mate. There was a gunshot went off down an alleyway outside Brixton, one of these like little halls that we went to, and a gunshot went off down, and everyone was like, "Oh, fucking shit!" And a gunshot in the UK is probably the norm from where you are. Like you hear it every 5 minutes, but a gunshot in the UK is a highly surprising sound. Unless you're in the countryside, that's normally like a rabbit being shot. That's as lethal as it gets. But yeah, no, I'm a big hip hop guy. I know my stuff. Yeah, Immortal Technique's quality. But yeah, Copenhagen not done here, you know. They're not giving up. It's frustrating as well. Oh, 1-1. RB Leipzig have bloody equalised. John Stones has been stood on that touchline for about 20 minutes. He's coming on for Ruben Diaz. I feel better about that because that means he's playing centre-back, so he's not going to be as involved. It's going to be a lot of sideways passes, but still, it's risky from Pep. It really is. Risky. Obviously, he's going centre-back, you'd imagine. Maybe Akanji pushing into the middle. I feel like he's a better central defender, Akanji. John Stones maybe being right of a 3 centre-back. But you never know. Oscar Haaland, the brother of Rasmus Haaland, coming onto the pitch. No, I'm joking, Jeff. I understand that that's an outrageous, like, exaggeration of what it's like to someone who's never been to America. You hear about America and, like, the perception of guns is like it goes off every 5 minutes, but it's not obviously not true, is it? I understand that. But my point was, a gunshot in the UK, that's very unheard of. But, yeah, Copenhagen, hopefully they've not got any bullets to fire in the rest of this game. Because they are posing a threat here, knocking it back post. Vavro knocks it down. Rooney getting on the end of that. Back to Vavro, lovely 1-2, but he's overstretched it. Gomez should have gone in there a bit harder, mate. Go in there with a strong tackle. You know what? They're knocking it about, you know. They're knocking it about. That's great energy from Haaland. To be honest, you want to see him coming off now, really, don't you? Get him rested. Be interesting to see. I can't see Alvarez starting against Liverpool. I'll be surprised. So, ball in. Cleared by Akanji. Great bit of defending from Manuel Akanji there. Really good awareness. John Stones has gone left centre-back. Or has he? I think that's temporarily because I think Gvardiol was caught out of position. Surely Gvardiol stays left centre-back. Manager Jakob Niestrup pushing all the Copenhagen players forward, gesturing they all go forward, which will be interesting to see if that's going to open them up at the back a little bit. I haven't listened to a single second of this game, but from what I can see, the Copenhagen fans are making some decent noise because they're constantly moving and bouncing and jumping and throwing their arms about. Bloody spider right above my head. Proper like it's going to lower its web and start landing on my head. John Stones has gone centre-back, like central centre-back. Akanji's at the right, Gvardiol on the left. I'm really pleased with Kovacic though, I really am. I'm so impressed with him. Every time I see him, he's growing on me, like more and more. Nunes has been a little bit, you know, I don't think he's played bad. He's just not, the ball's not really gone out there on that right-hand side. And he's got an opportunity here. Got the ball now. Nunes down the line to Rico. And he's giving it away, though. Nunes, not the greatest performance. But he's slipped, Nunes, as well. And as he hurt himself, he stayed down. He looks seriously hurt, you know. When he fell over, he tried to, he grabbed someone as well. Oh, shit! Oh, no! His finger! His finger's bent! Oh! They showed it and everything. His finger's like, oh! Oh, no! It's a finger injury. Oh, mate, that looked grim. That looked grim. He's broke his finger. He's just broke his finger. Nunes. Oh, mate. Oh. I can't believe they showed that. I need to rewind that. I want to have another look at that. Even though I hate these sort of things, but like that. Oh. 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 It's his middle finger. It's doing that. I can bend my fingers quite a lot as well, but not like that. I can also do that. Look at that. That's weird, isn't it? Look at that. Can you do that? Try that at home. But Nunes, he can do a lot more than that because that is a broken finger. It's completely broken. That is awful. And Micah Hamilton's coming on. What's Haaland laughing at? Why is Haaland laughing at him? I mean, a broken finger is it's still something that's going to keep you, it's going to force you off the pitch. You can't play with a broken finger. It's Nunes coming off anyway. I think that was a planned substitution anyway. So, Micah Hamilton coming on that right-hand side. They've snapped it back in place. That's got, oh, God. Oh. Not great with that sort of stuff, to be honest, but it goes through me. When it's a finger, it's like not as bad. When you see someone's leg going the wrong way, that's just like, nah, mate, can't deal with that. He's all right, though. He seems okay. It might have been a dislocation or something, I don't know. It didn't look like, let's have another look. Are they showing it again? He just landed, he slipped. He slipped and put his hand on the ground, and it's obviously broke when he's put his finger on the ground. Oh, they've bent it back. It looks like he's got a normal finger now, which is all right. They've taped it up. He's off the pitch anyway. I didn't cope very well. Our medic looks like Klopp. Just a little bit, doesn't he? There's a few Klopp lookalikes out there, isn't there? What's his name? The former Huddersfield manager. I've forgotten his name now. He looked a little bit like Klopp. They were best mates as well, weren't they? Yeah, it wasn't. I don't think it was a dislocation, Issa, because it was bent there. Do you know it wasn't bent at the knuckle. It was bent at the joint, the middle joint, and it just like snapped back. I thought there was something weird going on because when he went down, the Copenhagen player tried to run past him and he was like grabbing him to say stop the game. He obviously saw his finger bent the wrong way and just panicked and was like trying to get help. And in fairness to Copenhagen, they stopped. They stopped the game, but ball's come in Copenhagen over everybody's head. Kept alive. Lovely 1-2 there. Achori bringing it forward. Deeks blocked from Akanji. I mean, who are you giving man of the match so far? Because Emmanuel Akanji's defending has been brilliant so far in the second half. He's not had that much to do, but there's been a couple of opportunities for Copenhagen to whip a ball in, and he's dealt with every one. Like, really well. That was a great block from Akanji. Outstretched. Blocking the cross. You add the fact that first goal was absolutely delightful. What a finish that was. Don't underestimate how hard it is to cushion a volley like that with your instep. Brilliant finish. Corner ball, though, over everybody's head. Oh, it's back into the danger zone. Oh, Edison! And he's gathered it. Bobbling around a little bit. McKenna and Deeks combined to nearly cause a bit of problem in the 6-yard box, but it landed, fortunately, a yard or two in front of Edison, who collects the ball. John Stones on it now. Can't lose John Stones. I hope so, Ben. I really hope Pep renews his contract, mate. I really do. I have a good feeling that he might do one more year. I feel like we'll do this year, next year, and then maybe extend another year. I feel like we might get 2 more years after this. Nunes is showing all the bench, like, his fingers. All the other players look normal, but Bernardo Silva seems to be the queasy one. Bernardo Silva's, like, listening to the story, like, he doesn't want to hear it. Little Bernardo and his little face. I love him. So good. I don't know, mate. Daniel Wang, is it 2-1 for RB Leipzig? You tell me, mate. You've got closer access than I have, and I could have got it on here, to be fair, but... Copenhagen, shot, Corner ball blocked, I think, by Rico Lewis. Maatsen looking to score for the second time against Manchester City. Drop a like on the stream, guys, if you've just joined. 173 likes. It's really good, though. Thanks so much for those of you that have joined and liked. Elias Yeller leaving the pitch. Berger Melling joining the 22 on the pitch. Or the other 21, rather. Corner ball. Ooh, Edison flapping. Flapping Edison. Stronger, mate. I think Haaland put him off a little bit, but still, Edison, we need to see better hands than that. Copenhagen cross is deflected. Cleared. Swing and a miss from Rooney. Second attempt, and it's over the bar. I've not been... Do you know what? I think the performance has been okay from City, but Copenhagen, I mean, if they were a little bit more clinical, they could have had one or two more, you know. They really could have done. I feel like we've not really got out of second, even out of first gear. We've just cruised through this so far. I don't think they've played to the best of their ability, City, to be honest. And I think they've... game management has played a big part. I think they're looking out for themselves a little bit, injury-wise, fitness-wise, and treated it a little bit like a training match. There's a few decent performances out there, a few players that have just like gone through the motions a little bit. I think Alvarez is a little bit fortunate to be on the score sheet, to be honest. I think he's been a bit quiet. The goal from him, all down to Grabara's woeful goalkeeping. Nunes was not great before he got substituted. The defenders have been okay, not too much to do. I think Kovacic has been brilliant. For me, it's Kovacic or Manuel Akanji, man of the match so far for me. And probably because Akanji's got the goal, it might have to give it to him, but still 11 minutes to go. That's true, Daniel. Yeah, Walker, Foden, KDB, Silva on the bench. It does make a difference to the team, but it's great to know that we've not needed them. Do you know what I mean? And it was a kind of a given that we weren't going to need them anyway, were we? But they've the team that's been played has done a good enough job to win this game. Alvarez, back to Kovacic. Wouldn't mind a Haaland goal as well. Stadium's empty and lovely ball from Akanji. That left foot as well, weaker foot. It's not a good enough ball, but it was a good idea. He overhit it a little bit. Tried to dink it down that right-hand side for Oscar Bob to chase. Just gets a bit too much fizz on it and it skids out for a goal kick. A lot of kids there at the Etihad. They've zoomed into... bunch of 10-year-olds going wild. And the hold-up play there from Mailing has been really good. Copenhagen are in. Akanji again. Brilliant. Fantastic defending from Manuel Akanji. It really is. So good. Reads the game. He doesn't even need to touch the ball. It's that good defending. He just leans on him and edges him out of the game. Copenhagen fans going wild. City fans are joining in. They're joining in with the dance. They're looking to start a Poznan going, but fair play to the Copenhagen fans. City starting a Poznan now. It is that sort of game, really, isn't it? Where the crowd have resorted to entertaining themselves. This second half's been boring, mate. It really has. Jeff, mate. I've glanced over at the chat a couple of times and I'm alarmed at some of the ages that I've seen as well. 10? Surely not. Surely not there's a 10-year-old in the chat. That can't be right. It's totally inappropriate. And it's highly disturbing, mate. Like, it's weird, mate. I don't want a 10-year-old watching me. Like, for his sake, not my sake, for his sake or her sake. Clara's 7? What? Fuck. There's no way she's 7. She can talk way better than a 7-year-old can. But anyway, come on. So we've got a decent age spectrum, because I know we've got some like 50-year-olds and 60-year-olds in the chat as well. So it'd be weird to have a 10-year-old in there as well. At least I've got a good demographic, eh? That's all right. Copenhagen are in again. Maatsen now. He's into the penalty area, onto his right foot. Maatsen, great bit of defending from Rico Lewis. Overhead kick attempt. Josko Gvardiol, Akanji with a block. Asks for the free kick. He gets it. And you're hoping he's not injured here, because Akanji's gone down with the block. Cornelius, the wizard. Not very magical from him, in fairness, because he's just booted Manuel Akanji in the ankle. With Manuel Akanji's block was really good. I think it was an overhead kick from Rooney. I think it was his attempt. But the block from Akanji... Well, it wasn't a block, it was a clearance from Akanji. And then Cornelius's boot comes in right into the ankle of Akanji, and you're hoping he gets up in a minute, because we could do without that, mate. Losing another injured player like that. Seems all right. Seems all right. Jeff, Kevin's an absolute legend in the chat. Kevin is the grandson of Haaland, who I was ringing the bell for again in the Manchester derby. Yeah, Kevin is an absolute legend. Thanks again, Kevin. I saw you today, mate. I went and met him today to return the bell, of course, to his very proud, Haaland's proud grandson. It's my mum's 70th today as well, so happy birthday to my mum. If she's watching. She's at the game, actually. She's in the stadium, so still could be watching, but it's my mum's birthday, so happy birthday to my mum would be nice. If anyone feels like wishing my mum happy birthday, if she sees it, she'll be pleased. John Stones. I mean, have we had a shot in the second half, by the way? I don't feel like we've done anything in the second half at all. It's just been a case of... I don't know, really. It's like... We've quite submissive. Just allowed Copenhagen to come on to us. We've dealt with it reasonably well. I feel like Copenhagen probably would argue they deserve a goal in this second half. They've created some half opportunities, some semi-opportunities that you'd consider... You know, should be getting a goal. What have we done in the second half? I can't think of any moments where Grabar has been tested. And here's an opportunity for City. Alvarez. Oh, it's cleared. Well done, Sergio Gomez. Great bit of play, that. Really good. He's played with purpose, Sergio Gomez. He's played in a side that looks like they're quite happy to defend, though. He's played in midfield. Micah Hamilton, good layoff to Alvarez. Alvarez there, good bit of footwork there. Keeps the ball really well there, Alvarez. Gomez, Kovacic. One-touch football all of a sudden. Playing keep ball for a bit. Gvardiol, Alvarez. Stones. Oscar Bob on that right-hand side now with Akanji behind him. Devious wants a fourth. He's done all right, Daniel, hasn't he? Gomez has done all right. He's put himself about. I've been all pleased with his substitute appearance. It was a nice ball that he whipped across. In fact, that's the only thing I can think of in this second half that looked even remotely like a City goal. There was no one in the box, but the ball across was like a good one. I just don't think City were prepared for it. Haaland lays it off for Micah Hamilton. A little bit of a heavy one from Haaland. Micah Hamilton couldn't quite get on the end of it. I don't know, Clara. When is the second draw? Khalid Al-Dahiri with the super chat, mate. Happy birthday to my mum. Thank you so much, mate. That is so kind. Thank you very much. Really, really good of you. Top man. In fact, can I like it? Yeah, there you go. I've given it a like. There you go. Gregory, how's it going, mate? Jacob Wright coming on. Champions League appearance. Good luck to him. Haaland is the man to make way for Jacob Wright. God, babyface, mate, isn't he? How long I've been watching football all my life, I've just always been like looking up. In my head, I've always been looking up to players, and it was like that sudden recognition that you are older than everybody on that pitch, mate. Do you know what I mean? It's mad. Like, obviously, there might be some young lads watching it who are in their like young 20s who don't feel that yet. Wait till you suddenly recognise that all these players that are coming through are like so much younger than you. It's a real fucking eye-opener, mate. It's not a very welcome one either. It's quite like alarming how old life just goes by, mate, in a flash. All of a sudden, I'm looking at Jacob Wright coming on. I don't know how old he is, Gregory. I'm going to say 17, maybe. Maybe 18. 18 years old. Copenhagen, shot, and it's wide of the mark. From Ankerson. Gregory, you're in your 40s, so you feel ancient. Yeah, mate. I've got that to come. Little Fruity's 16, and you feel like that as well. It says take a walk, mate. Yeah, well, mate, you're 16, mate. You've absolutely got your life ahead of you. Absolutely. Hey up, Robert. Abdelkader feels the opposite of ancient. What is the opposite of ancient? Brand new. Like newborn. Don't know. Yeah, with some people, they're talking in the chat like, like there are some people that were around when fire was discovered. Like, we're not that fucking old in the chat. Michael Hamilton with space here, though. Opportunity, and I don't know what he was trying to do there, but... Not sure what he was trying there. Tried to... I don't know whether it was a cross or a shot. But it's cleared eventually by Copenhagen. A bit of chaos caused by Michael Hamilton there. He was driving from that left-hand side, bursting into the penalty area. And he looked like he was going to cut it onto his right foot and hit it, but it looked like he tried to cross it at the last second. I don't know what he tried to do there. I think it came off the Copenhagen player's heel and just skewed up into the air and dealt with. 16 touches, is that all he had? They weren't that bad, to be fair, made-up story. Jacob Wright there, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Using his body there, gets behind the Cornelius, gets his body in between Cornelius and the ball and keeps it really well. Playing in defensive midfield now, alongside Kovacic. Solid little 30 seconds I've seen from Jacob Wright there. Really enjoyed that. Rico Lewis. Jacob Wright. First time pass to Kovacic. Jacob Wright again. City players confidently passing it around. Jacob Wright breaks the lines into Alvarez. And it's a shot and it's off the bar. All from Jacob Wright and his assertiveness in midfield. Really good from Jacob Wright. Loving what I'm seeing. Loving it. Really good. Not afraid, is he? Give him the ball, mate. There we go. He's got the ball again. Kovacic. City players are confident giving it him. And not only did he turn and he didn't play it simple. He fired a pass into Alvarez. Really powerful. Broke the lines. Alvarez lays it off. I think it was to Rico Lewis, who gets a shot away. I think it was, and then it was deflected onto the bar. The first opportunity of the game, in the second half, for Manchester City, comes in stoppage time, really. Not the greatest second half. Let's have it right. Let's have it right. Copenhagen are coming forward here. Achori, shot over the bar. Elianusi, sorry, over the bar. Scott, section 20 makes Scott Carson look young. All Scott Carson has done. Who remembers what his little substitute appearance? He was a substitute. He didn't come on, but he was on the bench, wasn't he? Like, I'm sure it was the last Champions League game. And they just zoomed into him while he was like gozzing on the floor, just spitting like on the floor, on the bench as well. Like, why are you spitting there, mate? Like, I don't know. Jacob Wright gets it out to Cavadiol. 3 minutes of time. There's the full-time whistle. Manchester City 3-1 winners, duplicating the result at the Parken Stadium. A deserved win, I would say. Our first half performance warranted not all 3 points, but warranted the win in this particular tie. Obviously, over the course of the 2 legs, deserved to win. We were leagues ahead of Copenhagen, in truth. But credit where credit's due. Copenhagen, they did not give up. They posed a threat in that second half. City just sort of cruised in that second half. It was a case of game management. I feel like a lot of those players that, you know, your first team regulars, you could tell your likes of Sergio Gomez, and Jacob Wright in that few minutes that he came on. I think Nunes and I think Kovacic, fringe players that have not got the minutes they probably wanted this season. They looked like they cared more tonight than your Ruben Diaz and Rodri and Haaland. Players like that looked like they were just like, let's keep it simple, nothing silly, nothing drastic. And it just so happens that Nunes gets the bloody injury, the one who's working his socks off. Well, he didn't have a great game, but he did run about a lot on that right-hand side. Could have done a little bit more with it. But it was a good performance overall. Little kid has ran onto the pitch. Manchester City fan has ran onto the pitch and got Edison's shirt there. Fair play to him. He's now being escorted to prison for a life sentence, no doubt. But he's got Edison's shirt, so fair play to him. Fair play to him. Now, good luck to the kid. You don't get if you don't ask, so well played. But maybe not run on the pitch next time. Anyway, thank you so much for anarchy, mate. Absolute anarchy from Ryan. Thanks so much for joining me in this watch-along. It's been brilliant. It's been weird. It's been oddly weird. And cheers, Robert. Appreciate the little happy birthday to my mum there. She'll like that. It has been a weird one. It has been a weird thing. And I can't remember who it was with that super chat earlier that absolutely blew my mind. Milkmen have come up. Odd. Very, very strange. It was the weirdest one yet, Clara. I completely agree. And considering we've talked about rat infestations, bramble on your knob, what's the greatest fruit, to say those things and this wasn't that, they weren't the weird ones, that it got even weirder tonight. Where is this channel going? I'm not sure. Beats your itchy knob watch along. Yeah. Yeah, it kind of does, doesn't it? In a oddly unsatisfying way, it does. It kind of does. Brilliant. Anyway, Blues, thanks so much for joining me in the watch along. If you can drop a like on the stream on your way out, it really does help. There's still 182 of you watching, but there's 190 likes, so I imagine you've all done that already. So thanks so much for joining me in this watch along. Take care, Blues, and I'll see you in the next one.